Right, hello everyone, welcome to the EdgeOnline demonstration whereby today we'll be focusing on checklist 1, which is summary of performance evaluations from the evaluator side. Right, so you click here on summary of performance evaluations and then you're going to be taken straight on to the next page or to the next section whereby all the competencies or all the summaries are bundled up for that specific ANA training period. So let's go through the key first, right? So NE shows new evidence, right? That is to say the trainee submitted evidence under that specific competency. T is for trainee, E is for evaluator, right? Right, so the first competencies are the professional conduct competencies, and the first one being the professional conduct. So here under new evidence, there's a tick, meaning to say there's evidence which was submitted by the trainee. So also remember, when evaluating ANAs, it is required from you as the evaluator to go through each and every competencies, regardless of whether there was evidence or not. So the reason being, or the justification is, there might have been no evidence for that specific competence, but you as the evaluator, you can then raise a development plan for that for that trainee in that specific competence, or maybe you can also justify maybe to the assessor, so to say, trainee is going to get exposure for this competence in the next training ANA period, right? So please keep note or keep this in mind. You are required to go through each and every competency, evaluating and giving comments. Right, so for demonstration, let's pick on PC1, professional conduct. Right, so this is the only competency whereby there is no rating. You do not rate on a scale of 0, 1 to 4, unlike other competencies. And also, this is the only competency whereby trainees are signed off at ANA 6. That is to say, you cannot sign off a trainee on professional conduct before they reach ANA 6. Right, so principle demonstrated, development plan required, marked for discussion, and they've got the comments text box. So you click on evidence to expand, and then looking at the evidence, right, 3 PSRs were submitted for this competency, and judging from these PSRs which were submitted, you can now pick to say, is this sufficient enough for you as an evaluator to say the principle was demonstrated? If you feel like yes, it was demonstrated, you click on yes, right? Or you click on no if you do not feel like it was sufficiently demonstrated. And you can also choose to raise the development plan for them. That is, if you click on yes, the text boxes for development plan are going to appear, whereby you can craft a development plan for them, or you can click on no. Right, so the same applies for the other competencies. You click on them for them to expand. So given the evidence, you feel like it was sufficient, and then you put your comments probably to justify your rating them. Right, and when you are done, you click on submit. Right, so this is just the process on evaluating professional conduct. So I'm going to move on to another professional skill, which is professional attributes. So I'll be just randomly picking these competencies for demonstration, right? So I would want to keep it short and interactive as much as we can, right? On professional attributes, you click on PA C, so you can see there was evidence which was submitted there, right? So you can see from this text box here, now from this table here, there's got details, score. So rating achieved on previous ANA, there's a 2. So this, if this is a ANA 5, this is ANA number 5, this 2 here means that it was achieved in ANA number 4. If this is ANA number 4, this 2 means it was achieved in ANA number 3. And from the last column here, the heading, it talks about the generic training manual for your training office. That is the expected level of rating that the trainee is expected to be on this particular at this particular stage. So for this trainee, they're expected to be on level 3, and yet for this competence they did not raise any evidence, and in the previous ANA they 2. Right, so you can see the evaluator comments. I said there is no documentation, a development plan was required, yes, and then they put the development date and the development plan, right? So under evidence here, there's nothing. So this is the textbook, this is this column or the section for evidence, whereby there's evidence, rating, reviewer comments, trainee comments, and rating difference. So this one states if there was if the rating difference was accepted or not, and the rating which is going to be appearing in this column is the reviewer's rating, not the trainee's rating. Right. So now in this case, here's the evaluator. As you can see, there's no evidence, but the rating from the previous ANA was a 2. So you can choose to give this trainee a 2. That is to say, they are still on level 2 because they did not demonstrate for this competency. Right. Or also, you can choose to give them a 1. Simply because you feel like they did not demonstrate, and now you feel like they are falling behind on this particular skill, and you may probably need to motivate them in a way for them to document their SRS. You've got also the option to give them a different rating, which is different from the previous ANA rating achieved. Hence now I think you can now see why it is necessary for you, for your evaluator, to go through each and every competency, commenting and rating whether there was evidence raised or not. Right. So if there is no evidence, this is how you go about it. Or you can also choose to keep them at a 2. Probably you are going to say this rating was taken from the previous ANA, or exposure is more exposure is expected in the next ANA period, probably because in this current ANA period they did not get any exposure. Move on to the next one. As you can see, rating achieved on the previous ANA, it's a 2, but then the SRs which were submitted, they've got ratings of 4, right? And then the reviewer chooses to give them a 4. Also, they used the evidence provided and also the expected level of rating or proficiency at this particular stage, and then they arrive at a 3, and then they give them a comment on track. So the process is just the same. As you can see, previous ANA rating achieved, expected, and then they rate them. Was there a rating difference? No, there was no rating difference. And when you're done, right, you click on submit, and DMPOS 7, you can see for PSR 2, the reviewer gave them a rating of 1, and then the comments here, meaning to say this does not speak to the development of the trainee, right? And then these are the trainee, the comments or the evidence that had been raised by the trainee, and then the trainee chose to accept the rating difference, right? As you can see, rating difference accepted. If the trainee had not accepted the rating difference, the rating was still going to be the reverse rating of 1, and yet was going to be written in red, rating difference not accepted. And then you click on submit. So basically, this is how you evaluate the professional skills for your trainee as an evaluator. Now moving on to technical skills. So the first one is the compulsory accounting external reporting, right? And the elective for your trainee is going to be written in front of the competence. So this differs, remember, this differs per training office. And for demonstration, I'm going to be picking on financial management, right? So let's pick on where there's no evidence. Yes, you can see there's no evidence, right? You open on this competence as evaluator, right? You can see now. So for technical skills, there are going to be 2 sections here, or 2 rows, whereby the first one is going to be about the basic rating, and the other one, or the third one, is going to be on advanced ratings. So for this one now, this is an elective. So remember, trainees are only going to be discharged or signed off after they achieve rating level 4 at advanced, rating level 4 advanced for all elective skills and compulsory skills, and rating level 4 basic for all residual skills. So this one is an elective skill, right? And there are 2 text boxes here. The first one is basic, and then the other one is advanced. So for this trainee, they did not raise any evidence, as you can see, and in the previous ANA, they did not raise any evidence as well, right? But yet they're expected now to be at proficiency level 3 or rating level 3. So here, as an evaluator, you can now raise a development plan for this trainee. That is to say, You feel like they are now lagging behind on their progression as a trainee, and you feel like probably they should do simulations or they should do management accounts as highlighted here. So you raise a development plan for them. So now I think you can see why we are always emphasizing on going through each and every competence for the trainee, whether there was evidence or not. And the same applies for the next competence. There was no evidence, and yet they are expected now to be on level 3. Hence, the evaluator raised the development plan for them. Right. Okay, and when you're done, you click on submit. So let's pick management. So this one, I'm going to be picking the first one. As you can see, there's evidence here. Right. So for this one, you can see this is a residual skill. Right, and the expected levels of proficiency or rating are 3 basic for this trainee at this ANA stage or at this ANA period. Right, so they're expected to be at a 3. They submitted evidence, 2 testers with basic ratings level 4, and there were no rating differences, and there is no advanced rating for this competency for these technical skills which were documented. Right, and then given this information and the expected levels of competency, the evaluator decided to give this trainee a 4. Right, and then the comments are okay. No development plan is required here. Is it marked for discussion? No. So if it is marked for discussion, this is simply just to alert the trainee that we are going to have a discussion about this competency. Right, so MDR 1.2 here, you can see no ratings achieved on previous ANA, and they're expected to be on a 3. And the evidence which was only submitted has got an advanced rating of 1. So take note here, this is a residual skill, right? And the trainee, the evidence which was submitted by the trainee was not accepted by the reviewer, and they gave them a 1. Hence a rating difference was generated, and then the trainee chose to accept this rating difference. Right, so also remember, this rating is taken from the reviewer's rating, not from the trainee's rating. So you as the evaluator now, you can choose to see if you click on the TSR here or on the rating here, you are going to be taken straight to the technical skill or to the TSR where this evidence is extracted from, and then you can judge from an independent party on the trainee's evidence and the reviewer's comments on whether this evidence which was submitted by the trainee and the rating the trainee they gave themselves is relating to what they did. Right, and then this can help you also to come up with the final rating. But in this case, the evaluator chose to rate this trainee, not to rate this trainee for both basic and advanced, and then click on submit. So on how to click on this hyperlink so that you can be taken on to the next PSR and the next TSR, we are going to be looking at these other functions on the next demonstration. So this is basically how you evaluate an ANA for your trainee, looking at the first section of the first checklist, which is summary of performance evaluations.